My name's Wayne Teaven. I'll be the announcer here in the upcoming 2022 meet here at Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel. I'm currently the announcer at Buffalo Raceway, and I have been the full-time announcer there since 2016. I backed up here at Batavia over the last 7 seasons, and I've also backed up at Vernon Downs and Yonkers Raceway, Northfield Park. I've also called motorcycle races and just outside my hometown in Medina. Did that right up until this summer, until horse racing kind of took over. And I also have done motocross and go-karts and various other things. I live in Lindenville, New York. My dad, Hal and Betty, I grew up on Murdoch Road in Lindenville, and I currently live at their second residences over on the Angling Road. I bought it off of them after they had moved to Alabama. This is my hometown track. I've been coming here with my parents. My grandfather, Bob Merlin, campaigned here all the way back into the late 60s, through the 70s and 80s, and then my mom got into it with him as well. And then after my grandfather retired as driver, we had various catch drivers and stuff that drove for us through the years, and we raced at both tracks. We also did a lot of county fairs as well. Won a New York-Vermont stake in 1985 with a horse called Bay Lad. He was a swayback, free-legged pacer, and he won as a 2-year-old, the 2-year-old Colton Gelding version of that, up in the New York-Vermont stakes, and my mom actually has a wall clock as a plaque for him winning that. So that was one of our cherished memories growing up in the harness race. Mostly announcers. I loved like Al Michaels and Dick Enberg and Rick Jenner-Red and Van Miller. And then in the horse racing, we used to go to Buffalo Raceway, where I call now. And there was a guy back when I was a kid named Pete Szymanski. And he used to have this way about him. He used to be very comical in his calls. And he would add flavor, and he would add a little personality to it. And I always thought that was great. And I'm like, man, this guy is really good, and I wouldn't mind being that someday. But, never really took much thought into it until I got older, of course. But now that I'm here, I hope that I bring all the attributes that I like from my heroes into what I try to put into it on myself. For the bettors, I always like to let them know where the favorite is, who the favorite is before they go to post. You'll always hear me say who the people's choice is. Well, I'll use that terminology, or the favorite, or whatever. And if it's a close call between a couple horses, I'll throw 2 of them in there, and then I'll keep track of the favorite throughout the mile. Let them know where the favorite is in the field, how many lengths off the lead, where he sits. If he pulls automatically, or she, let people know that the horse is on the move and on the go. So, they can be like, oh, come on, number 2, and stuff like that. They want to, because I used to be a patron. I'm a fan just like anybody else. I was a fan first. And I want to be able to give people the same perspective of a race that I always wanted when I was on the floor watching. I try to use a lot of different things, like horses' names. People name a horse, not just to name a horse. They know what they're doing. They know the announcer is going to have fun with it. Like I just had a horse that came to us this last week. His name is Finkel as Einhorn, from the movie Ace Ventura. Now, that wasn't a mistake. That was, somebody thought that would be funny, and the announcer gets a hold of that name, and is a guy that has a personality will catch on to that name, know what it's from, and be able to incorporate it into the call. And there's lots of other names out there that, if you use them in the right context, people find the humor in it, and it adds to the call. It's not just calling horses going around the racetrack. I was doing a race with Finkel as Einhorn, and Finkel as Einhorn and a horse were battling down the stretch. I would be like, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel, Finkel's the man, as he goes across the wire and wins the race, something like that, just to kind of, have some personality. People like that when you can be personable and you can show that you're not just a robot. What's important about my job is to be informative and to entertain not only the public, but the hardworking people on the backstretch that work on these animals 6-7 days a week. And they get that 2 minutes, no matter what class they're in, whether it be the Sire Stakes or the Open or a non-winners of 1,000. These people put their heart and soul in these animals, and they deserve that respect by giving them the best call out of the race that is being performed on the track.